what? It's time I check in with my friends, see how they're doing, see how everyone's holding up, check and see how business is for some of my friends, check and see how life is, how health is, how politics are, all that stuff. For those of you who have never watched before, my name is Patrick Allman from Stop Doing Nothing, and this is just a general check-in. I got kind of like an agenda I want to flow through, but more often than not, or more than hearing my voice, I want to hear what's on your mind. I'm going to flow through kind of a list of topics here, but generally, I just want to check in with you and see how, and really see how things are. Hopefully the technology is working right, and if so, you're watching this on, Facebook and or Twitch and or YouTube Live. If you are hearing me okay, and just kind of chime in real quick and let me know which platform that you are listening on, if you would please. Let me see. I'm going to get some tech things set up here as we get this rolling on. Let me just double check all my tech is in place here. I'm going to double check all my little locations and make sure things are coming okay. So looks like okay on the Facebooks of the world. Looks like okay on the Twitches of the world. YouTube appears to be a little bit hosed today, so no big deal. No big deal at all. But hey, we're going to continue to riff and run through what we have going on here. There we go. Okay. Yep, I think everything is off and running just fine. So again, if you're watching live, just kind of chime in, let me know what's going on with your live. And if you're watching this recording, then just do me a favor later, if you would, okay? You're going to start seeing me do, I keep saying I'm going to do more and more of these, then life just gets in the way. But I'm starting to line up some people to kind of bring on and just kind of run through some topics, maybe get some discussion going about things that I care about, the things that I know my friends care about, the things that I know my guests are going to care about. So, but we're going to do this live. I've got a good little setup going on. I'm improving my live stream work every single day. Let me just double check on one more thing here just to be sure things are all up and running just fine. Bear with me as I just deal with the tech issues. Okay, yep, I think things are going okay. Hey, and for those of you that watch me live, like I said, I'll leave a comment. Let's see, where are we at? We are December 21st, 10:10 Central Time, and I've got kind of a list of topics here that I want to talk to you about, and again, I'd like your comments on them. Let me close that down right there. Well, first of all, I'm just kind of interested in any kind of good news that you have going on, or anything in life that you have going on that's going well for you. We've had kind of a little bit of a shitstorm of life here, wherever you're watching from. I don't know how your country's doing. I don't know how the people that you deal with are doing, but I can tell you that from my perspective and the things we got going on, whether it's whether you want to call it politics or whatever you want to call it, things haven't been going that great. We know we got the virus going on. We know we got some political crap going on, but I'm just kind of interested in some good news. So if you got any comments, let me know, and I will pull them up here about what's going on good in your life. Man, let me tell you, technology can really be a pain in some of this stuff. But either way, what's going on good here? Number one, business is decent. It's not amazing, it's decent, but I'm gainfully employed, and I'm pretty thankful for that. And if it's the same way for you, please let me know. Because of what's going on and we can't do things in person, the world of digital marketing and like live streaming and video work and internet and pay-per-click marketing, all that stuff is just blowing up in this world. And that's the space that I'm in for 8 to 12 hours a day. And so it's working great there. It really is. Fitness wise, staying in shape. And that's something that I think all of us kind of had control over when we got started in this whole thing. you know, we were all told to kind of go home and avoid public spots. And it's amazing how gyms work out. Those are extremely public spots. And we're flinging sweat and we're breathing all over each other. And we're doing all these things that, the COVID experts would tell us that we should not be doing. And so all of a sudden, all of the health facilities either had to shut down or make drastic arrangements. I belong to a small CrossFit gym, and I was lucky enough that they made arrangements pretty fast to accommodate for this. We kind of started spacing each other out, not in a literal sense, kind of way, but we started when this whole thing started with our CrossFit class. What we started doing is we started making these little boxes on the floor, and the people that run the gym did a great job of this. We started making little boxes on the floor, and they were pretty strict about making sure everyone stayed inside their box. And the weights were all set up there, and the chalk and the cleaning and everything you needed was set up inside your box, which was a brilliant idea. And when the weather was good, we kept the doors open, which kept the airflow going. And I have heard, rumors and innuendos that keeping lots of airflow going and basically staying outdoors is a good way to not communicate or not make this virus communicable. And so my gym did a great job on that, and which was really good because, not being able to be social, being physical and exercising and doing all those things is one of the things that kept me sane. Because we can't see each other, we can't socialize, we can't go to restaurants, we can't go over to friends' houses. We don't get to interact with that many people. You may be able to, you see your spouse on a regular basis. You'll do FaceTimes. You may wave at a neighbor that's walking by in the neighborhood, but you're keeping your distance. But going to the gym, we're relatively close to people that you are not relatively close to normally. So an activity like this that was normally just, I'll go to the gym for an hour and then go home and it's just no big deal in my day. It actually became a big deal in lots of people's days, including mine, to be able to go there and just see people and high five. And even though we're working hard and we're breathing hard, we're also laughing and making jokes in between the inability to breathe and lift weights or whatever it was. So I know I've had some different commentary from different people saying how important it was that, that gym time was a big deal in their life. And so if that's not something, if you're having trouble, for lack of a better term, coping, or you miss being around people, and it may not be everybody, some of you are isolationists or okay being alone, then that all works out just fine. But if you're the kind of person who misses being around people, one of the things you might look at is some kind of fitness arrangement, even if they're doing it, healthier than my gym is. And fortunately, knock on linoleum, we haven't had any outbreaks at my gym yet, but it's been pretty good, pretty cool. But go look at something like that. It could be a CrossFit gym, could be a small workout facility where everybody and everyone's been tested and they get the temperature checked on a regular basis, and that they're being safe about it. It's amazing because I haven't heard, when I think about the different CrossFit places out there, I haven't heard of one in my local area that's had any kind of major outbreak. We are super diligent about cleaning everything. I mean, it's almost to the point where, how they tell you that if you over clean stuff, that's actually bad for you because you're killing all the germs that you need for you to get, resistant to things. That maybe was happening. I don't know, but man, we scrubbed down bars. The floor is disinfected. There's a mister that goes through. We're washing everything that gets a lick of sweat on it. The bars overhead, the lifting bars, the kettlebells, the weight balls, the slam balls, the rowers, the bikes. Everything is getting disinfected. And the funny part about this, which I like telling people, is that this gym I go to, Coda in Oklahoma City, they were like this before all this happened. So the idea of wiping down stuff wasn't really new. We're doing it more, and there's more spray bottles and more rags. And I'm thankful to whoever has to take those rags home every single day or every single week and wash them. Just praise be unto them for taking that task on, because there's what, 6-7 workouts in a day. think of all the machines that get dirty and all those rags that have to be cleaned. I mean, that's one of the real MVPs right there. But like I was saying, is this is something that a CrossFit gym normally does already when it comes to keeping things clean. And so um, it was somewhat of a step up to do it for the COVID world, but it wasn't a huge step up like it was for a lot of gyms. A lot of gyms. Used to belong to YMCA, still a great gym, but someone there's no pressure there to keep things clean. And so if someone doesn't go through and wipe off a machine, you can come up to a machine that's been sweaty because of lack of consideration, and you don't have that in a smaller environment. In a YMCA or something like that, someone goes through, I think, multiple times a day and sprays down the machines, but there's no feeling of individual responsibility in that world. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, please check out a local gym in your facility, in your area, wherever you are. I'm also curious about anybody who may have lost anybody. I would like to hear comments on that. I have not, and I've been very lucky. I've known friends of friends. I've known local business owners who have passed away, but nobody that I was like really, really close with. So I've been lucky in that area. My mom in Northwest Seattle area is pretty healthy, doing okay there. But just double checking everything over here. Okay, good. Technology's still going good. So I've been really lucky in that area. But if you have, please comment below. And of course, you have my condolences. We've lost a lot of people. What, 300,000 plus? Last time I saw here in the United States, 300,000 plus people. I think that was about right. So that's a lot of people, and we're never going to get those people back, and that's really unfortunate. But if you've lost someone close to you, again, my condolences. This isn't easy. I am happy. I am one of those people that believes that things are going to eventually get better. This is the first pandemic that a lot of us have lived through that's been this big. I think we've had some mini pandemics along the way, but not something that's affected so many people so fast. I am one of those weird, bizarre people that believes in logic and science, and the fact that if you do stuff like stay away from people or you avoid people, then it will get better. And I'm the kind of person that believes in the goodness gracious, I want to say the antidote, but that's not the real for all the immunization that Pfizer and that other company came out with. I actually think 3 companies are going to come out with it. So I'm going to be the kind of person that gets that when the time comes. And so I think that will basically make it so we can go out and be human again. We can be social again. We can go to the gym again. We can go to the grocery store without fear of dying again. We can go to restaurants, can eventually get back to capacity. Because you talk about a place that's been hurt and hit really hard. It's anything having to do with food service or social dining or stuff like that we are more luxury items in our life. They're not really mandatory for us to eat out. But those places have been hit hard. And I think those places, the ones that manage to survive, will recover. I visit a couple of coffee shops on a regular basis, and they're trudging along. They're having to adapt. They're having to do local delivery. Obviously, you can't, hang. Some of the ones locally, I think, are just now allowing some people to sit back inside and socialize, but not like it used to be. There used to be some local coffee shops I'd go to where every seat was taken, and the small private rooms were taken, and the back room was taken, and all that stuff is shut down. But I do believe it's going to get back to being better. Vaccine, that's the word I was looking for. Once we get this vaccine distributed. So I have no problem there taking it when the time comes. And so, there's a school of people, or there's a group of people that believe that the vaccine's not real, that it was made up by our government or a foreign government or a foreign entity in order to, affect the political environment or to, to basically control people and keep people at home. And if you are one of those people, more power to you for what you believe, but I do not believe that. I believe that this is what life delivers us sometimes, and it's hard. It's not great, but I also believe that we're flexible and we can adapt to something like this. Um, I don't call the thing the new normal. I just call it the normal. I mean, as a human being or living for 52 years, we've had to adapt. I've had to adapt to things being different over time, whether it's technology, whether it's health, whether it's financial, whether it's the country, whether it's my body. I mean, whenever people say the new normal, it's not the new normal. It's just the normal. Things change. They evolve. They adapt over time. And so for a little bit, the human race is going to have to just shut down being social and stay at home. And then after we get this vaccine out, then we'll be able to be social again. And this is not really anything different that's happened with major pandemics in the past. Like there were a lot of deaths, and life was major affected. Entire families and generations were wiped out. But we as a race progressed, adapted, and overcame. So I believe that's going to happen, And so I'm not the doom and gloom type person. I'm not happy about it, but I'm realistic about it. I realistically believe that we're going to get past this. I'm encouraged by the fact that places like Pfizer and some of the other places that put out vaccines, I can't think of them right now, that they've done amazing work in the past year. And man, you talk about being brave. Think about the people that Pfizer had for testing when it came to testing a vaccine. I mean, that's just amazing. Hey, we just developed a vaccine for a brand new disease, and we want to test it on you and see if it has any impact. And if it does, then you know what? You're going to help advance science. If it doesn't, well, sorry. So, and from what I understand, also the way the vaccine works, or the way that they have to test to see if it works, is they basically have a placebo. This is how they test to see if it works. Is they'll give 50% of the people a placebo and 50% of the people the theoretical vaccine. And the really weird part is you don't know which one you have. If you're working with Pfizer and they're testing and you volunteered for this, you don't know. So if you get COVID, or if you have COVID and they give this to you, you might get worse, you might stay the same, or you might get better. Now, I'm not a scientist, I'm just a human being, but that kind of sounds a little bit scary to me. And what happens with the people that they gave the placebo to that do end up getting sick? Do they rush back and give them the vaccine? I don't know how all that works, but that's bravery right there, to be able to volunteer for something that may or may not cure you, and you don't know the what you're doing for the human race in that situation. To me is just absolutely amazing. So kudos to those people right there. Something else I want to talk about a little bit is I'm curious about those of you who travel a lot, or who used to travel a lot where that was totally shut down. That's something I definitely miss. Unlike a lot of people, I enjoy going to the airport, hanging out in the terminal, and getting on a plane. I don't like you people that try to stuff way too much in the overhead bin, screw you. But I like the process of travel and finding my gate and talking to flight attendants and pilots and meeting new people in the airport and meeting my seatmates. I really look forward to that. And so that was effective for me, a little bit, not a ton. I've made probably, I don't know, let me see how many trips I made this year. I know 2 for sure. And I had a third planned in February, and that one was just canceled. So at least 2 trips this year. Mask from the moment you walk in the airport to the moment to leave the airport. That's obvious. I was able to get a rental car, so I don't have to take Ubers any place. I have no idea how the Uber industry is doing. But it was nice. It was nice to get out and see people. And every time I went, it's not like the airport was completely empty. People are still traveling. The planes weren't anywhere near as full, but also it wasn't like there were 5 people on a plane. People behaved. I am lucky that I have never seen anybody that was really anal about not wearing a mask. Got really lucky in that space right there. And so those are the kind of the big things that I want to talk to you about, is just try to check in to see how people are doing. Leave your comments below when you're watching the recording, and also to see how travel was affected and make sure that you and your loved ones are okay. So these are the kind of topics I like to talk about. If you find this interesting, as always, I've got a podcast out there where I get to a little bit more deep stuff when it comes to about business world, business and personal management. So go out there and find the Stop Doing Nothing podcast. This is also being broadcast live. It should be on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. You can go find Stop Doing Nothing or Patrick Almond or any of those channels and follow me there and subscribe and leave a rating. And like I said, if you're more of a podcast person, you're going to find it over there on iTunes and Spotify and radio.com. And like I have like the podcast listed like 10 other places right there. So go over there and subscribe and leave a rating if you would. Until we talk next time, please stay safe. Have hope that we are on the downside of this. Have hope that they get this vaccine distributed all over the world as fast as humanly possible, and that we can, you and I can meet in a coffee shop soon, or we can meet in a restaurant soon, and not necessarily laugh about this, but maybe breathe a big sigh of relief that we all, those of us that did, manage to live through it, and will hopefully, prosper on the other side. And this will be stories that we can tell our grandkids someday. As always, thank you for watching very, very much. Have a great, great day. Get yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and we will talk soon. Take care.